your team isn't having difficult conversations. Well, actually, they are, just not with you. And that silence, it's costing you talent, trust, and results. I'm Claire Salerno, and I've spent over 20 years teaching leaders at organisations how to create the conditions where the conversations that matter actually happen. And today I'm going to show you the 3 questions that transform conversation-avoidant cultures into psychologically safe, high-performing teams. So let's dive in. So let me tell you about a leadership team I worked with last year. They'd lost 3 talented people in 6 months, high performers, people that they really didn't want to lose. And when I asked the leadership team why these people had left, they said things like, it was a bad fit, or they just wanted different opportunities, or it could have been personal reasons. Standard exit interview language, right? But when I spoke to the team members who stayed, I heard the real story. No one felt safe bringing up workload concerns. People were afraid to challenge misaligned priorities. Interpersonal tensions were festering because no one knew how to address them without it feeling like an attack. The leaders genuinely thought they had an open door policy. They'd say things like, "My door is always open in meetings," and they'd encourage feedback. But the team, they'd learned the door was actually closed. Not because the leaders were bad people, because they absolutely weren't, but because every time someone tried to walk through that door with a difficult conversation, something happened that taught them, don't do that. Don't do that again. Maybe their concern was met with defensiveness. Maybe it was dismissed as just not the right time. Maybe the leader listened, but nothing changed. Whatever the response was, the team learned that the difficult conversations aren't welcome here. So here's what I've learned creates conversation-avoidant culture, and more importantly, the 3 questions that reverse it. Now, these aren't questions you just ask once in a workshop and then tick a box. These are questions you embed into how you lead. So let me walk you through each one. Question 1 is, what conversation are we not having? So this question does something powerful. It acknowledges that avoidance exists. It names the elephant in the room before you even know what the elephant is. I use this with leadership teams when I can sense that there's tension or misalignment, but no one's addressing it directly. Here's how it works in practice. In a team meeting, you pause the agenda and say, before we move on, I want to ask, what conversation are we not having right now? What's the thing that we're dancing around but not actually addressing? Now, the first time you ask this, you might get silence, and that's okay. You're creating a pattern interrupt. You're signalling that you genuinely want to know. Then you wait, uncomfortably if necessary. Someone will eventually speak, and when they do, your response in that moment teaches everyone whether this question was genuine or performative. The key is, do not defend, do not dismiss, do not problem solve immediately. Just acknowledge what they've said. Thank you for naming that. That's important. Then ask the group, does anyone else feel this way? Or does anyone see this differently? You're not trying to fix it in that moment. You're trying to make it safe to name it. Question 2, what would make it safe to have that conversation here? Once you know what conversation is being avoided, this question shifts from diagnosis to design. You're asking your team to co-create the conditions for safety. So I've worked with organisations where staff felt they couldn't challenge their managers' decisions, and it was creating frustration and resentment, but no one felt safe speaking up. When I asked them, well, what would make it safe to have that conversation? Here's what they told me. If it happened one-on-one first, not in front of the whole staff, if it was framed as, I'm seeing something different, help me understand your thinking, rather than, you're wrong. If there was a follow-up conversation, not just in the heat of the moment. Can you see what happened there? They didn't just complain about the lack of safety, they designed the container that would make it safe. As a leader, your job is to listen to what they need and then actually implement it. If they say they need one-to-ones, schedule them. If they say they need time to process before responding, build that in. This is where most leaders fail. They ask the question, get the answer, and then nothing. Nothing changes. And that teaches the team we're not really interested in making things safe. We just wanted to look like we cared. Question 3, what's the cost of continuing to avoid it? This is the question that creates urgency, because here is the truth. Avoidance might feel safe in the short term because it's comfortable, it's conflict-free, but it is expensive. I ask leadership teams this question when I can see that they're stuck in avoidance. If we don't have this conversation about the underperforming team member, about the toxic behaviour, about the misaligned strategy, what does that cost us? And I don't just mean money, though sometimes it is financial. I mean, what does it cost in trust? What does it cost in team morale? What does it cost in terms of the talent that we lose? What does it cost the people who are performing well to watch us tolerate what we shouldn't? With the leadership team I mentioned earlier, when we asked this question, here's what they realised. Continuing to avoid the difficult conversations about workload and priorities wasn't just costing them people, it was costing them their mission. Because when good people leave, the work doesn't go away. It just falls on the people who stay, who are already overworked, which leads to burnout, which leads to more people leaving, and it's a spiral. Once they saw the real cost, avoidance stopped feeling like the safe option. Okay, so now how do you actually use this in practice? Well, here's what I would recommend. In your next team meeting, try this. Step 1, set the context. Say something like, I want to try something today. I'm asking because I genuinely want to know, not because I have an agenda or a right answer that I already have in mind. Step 2, ask the first question. What conversation are we not having as a team right now? Then wait. Give them at least 30 seconds of silence. It's going to feel long. Let it. Step 3, when someone speaks, thank them. Don't defend, don't explain, don't jump to solutions. Just thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you named it. Step 4, ask question 2. What would need to be true for us to have that conversation in a way that feels safe and productive? Then listen, take notes, commit to at least one thing they've suggested. Step 5, follow up within a week. Either have the conversation they've identified using the conditions they've named, or explain why you can't yet and when you will be able to. And here is the thing, you might not get full honesty the first time. That's okay. You're building a pattern. You're showing them that this isn't performative. Keep asking, keep creating space, keep following through. Over time, your team will learn that difficult conversations are welcome here. Before we wrap up, let me tell you the 3 mistakes leaders make when they try this, because I do see them all the time. Mistake number 1, they ask once and give up. If your team doesn't immediately open up, it doesn't mean this doesn't work. It means that they've learned over months or years that it's not safe. You're asking them to unlearn that, and that takes consistency. Mistake number 2, they ask but don't change anything based on the answers. This is worse than not asking at all, because now you've confirmed what they already suspected, that you didn't really want to know, you just wanted to look like you cared. If you're going to ask, you have to be willing to act on what you hear. Mistake number 3, they make it about fixing the team instead of examining their own leadership. When teams avoid difficult conversations, the first question isn't what's wrong with them, it's what have I done or failed to do that taught them that it's not safe. This is about your leadership, not their dysfunction. If you want the full difficult conversations framework I use with leadership teams, including conversation scripts, team exercises, and facilitation guides, then head to clairesalerno.co.uk and grab the toolkit. If this was helpful, subscribe to this channel where I share frameworks on creating psychologically safe, high-performing teams where the conversations that matter actually happen. I'm Claire Salerno. Thank you for watching and take care.